Today marks the beginning of something totally different. The Ashland series is taking a short break because I'm jumping headfirst into the City Planner Plays Build-Off. There are two PCs up for grabs, custom built by City Planner Plays himself, one for the best modded build and one for the best vanilla-ish build. I'll be competing on the Elba, Italy map, and it's a beautiful map, but it's definitely a bit difficult due to the terrain, and that's what's going to make this a lot of fun. The rules are, you get one entry, modded or vanilla-ish, but not both. We'll be going for the modded segment. You can use any region pack or paid content. Unlimited money must be off because the economy has to function. You can unlock everything and play on easy or normal difficulty. We'll be playing on normal difficulty because I enjoy the challenge, but we will have natural disasters off. Respect the topography, so you can't just flatten the entire island. Vanilla players can use dev mode. Modded players can use anything from the Magnolia County playset. Submissions are due June 9th at 10 AM CST. After that, it'll be judged. They'll pick their favorites, and then you, the community, will vote for the winners. I am super excited to be taking part in this, so today we're kicking things off the only way that makes sense, laying down the initial road network. Each episode after this will expand, and we'll try to do it in a thoughtful and logical way. Let's jump in. Alright, welcome back to Elba, Italy. First things first, I kind of want to size up the area and just get an idea of what we're working with. We can see that we have a few boat connections, and that's definitely going to be key, either a passenger port or maybe even a cargo port. Probably actually both. I'm wondering, where is the external connection, because there must be a road, and here it is. Okay, so it just goes underneath the water and into the map. I love it. It's a bit silly, but I love it. And there's where our city kind of transitions into. So we'll take that road and we'll stretch it into there. Okay, first things first, let's place a road and then we'll open up Road Builder. And now really, I want to have 3 sets of roads, but first let's give this one a name. So we'll just call it the Elba 2-lane road. I think that works for now. And then really what we want to do is just drop these sidewalk lane widths as far down as we can go. Ideally 2 meters, but I don't know how bad that's going to look. We'll have to see. Sometimes when you get that small, you get really bad shadows. Okay, and that's pretty much perfect. You can tell that there's some weird things happening right here, but overall it's barely noticeable whatsoever. And this is going to be like our main arterial, our main connector road. All of our other roads will pretty much be smaller than this. We're on an island with very limited space, so we're not going to spend a lot of it on massive sidewalks or massive roads. For our road placement, I want to try and leave just a little bit of room on the shore right here. I'm thinking probably 1 full circle. And then we'll do the same thing along this little river type water thing. I don't know what to call it. For some reason the name's blanking on me. Over here is a bit interesting because I want to leave a little bit of space, maybe 1 full circle along it, but we could also run the roads right on top of the terrain, like right on top of that line. And I don't know. I'm at a conflict. I don't know which one to choose. I think I'll probably just start drawing the roads and figure it out as I go. But we also want a lot of wavy roads. We want any of our zoning to try and front the water. All right, let's get our first roads in. Now, looking at the way that this road is right now and the way the road network is, I think it makes sense to extend this all the way down because we can probably do something special here. Maybe a port or maybe a little boat area. Okay, now I'll stop that right about there. Our main road will connect right to the roundabout, so let's get that in. I want to be very careful not to encroach on our little pond, river, whatever body of water. And then let's just send this road all the way in, so we'll just use the curve road tool. Actually, the more I think about this, the more I think about how the road hierarchy would be. This is kind of a connector, and if we could send this all the way around, it would be pretty big. Now I want to put a pause here just for a second because I think we could send up alleyways and have cul-de-sacs. I think that might make sense, but let's take a look over here. And we'd definitely do something similar over here. Maybe you can get to the top of the hill, but we're not there yet. Yeah, okay, I'm pretty happy with that. So we'll curve around this road right here, or I mean this giant hill right here. And I really don't like what's happening here, so let's delete this and try again. This time let's use the complex curve tool, so we'll grab it, we'll go straight, about 6 units should do, and then we'll curve right over, and then we'll just come right in. And even now it's still a bit wavy and wonky. I think it's okay for right now. When we actually do our zoning, we'll come back and fix anything that's just a bit off. Because this area up here is more constrained, we're not going to send roads with sidewalks on it. It just doesn't make sense. So we'll send up an alleyway and we'll just have little cul-de-sacs. You know, they're kind of dangerous, but you're working with what you got, and this is what we got. Okay, now I want to end this road right here. I don't think it needs to continue any further. We'll probably send separate alleyways up here and we'll just attach it to our main road. So let's take this and just curve right into our main road, but we're going to respect the topography, so we'll back this up just a bit. For this area, I want to have 2 entry points just because it's a little bit bigger so we can accommodate it. Maybe we could even have one from the roundabout, depending on how it looks. Let's see. And that's definitely a bit weird. I really don't like how it came out, but I think the problem is because the road isn't being sent any other way. You just come in from the roundabout and take a really hard turn. So if we send it out this way, I feel a little bit better. Yeah, definitely. But that is a massive cul-de-sac. It's kind of hard to look at, so I'm gonna look away for now. So this is our core design. This is essentially what we'll use to build everything else. There's some few tweaks and adjustments that we'll make along the way, but overall as a core design, I think this is pretty good. Really what we have set up here is the connectors and the arterials. And what I want to do now is draw the roads inside of our grid. And to do this, we're going to take the alleyway and we're going to add very small sidewalks to it. And that'll be, I don't know, I guess the 3rd level of our road hierarchy. Afterwards, we'll use alleyways. So let's get this road built out. And that's looking pretty good. Now let's just change the name to Elba 2-lane alley, I guess. And right here, we will run just normal alleys. But first, I need to get rid of the trees because they're in my way and I can't see anything. This will probably be one of those cul-de-sac areas, or maybe it's an area with shops or a park. Not entirely sure yet, but we do have our main like downtown core set up already. Now we're just going to run a few alleyways around the sides, and then we'll start building out our grid. And with that done, now we'll start building inside of our grid. This is kind of almost like our downtown core, and we're going to use the Elba 2-lane alley. So this is the one with smaller sidewalks and does not have any road markings. All right, now quick sanity check. Does this look good? And I think it looks pretty good. Now I need to remind myself that when we get closer to the waterfront, I want our zoning to actually front the water. Otherwise, that's just illogical. All right, and this is it. This is our main road layout for pretty much the first 2 episodes. We'll do some expansion beyond this, but really I had one main goal: respect the topography. Actually, I had a few main goals. 2, trying to have some wavy roads. 3, have a lot of development space for the waterfront. 4, leave the beachfront open so we can actually make somewhat of a beach space. And I think we did most of those. I'm pretty happy with how it turns out. It's pretty wavy, it definitely is. But I mean, that's just how it is. I think it looks a bit different than anything else. And I spent some time staring at this and I realized one big mistake. Right here, this road is so long and there's no road in between to break it up. What are you going to put on this road if you're not going to break it up? It would have to be something pretty cool, like one massive park. So we're just going to add in a few connections. We'll break it up. Even this is still pretty long. So maybe when it comes down to it, when we're doing our development, we'll actually break this up even further. But that is much better right there. It's actually, let's add one more. I think that's even better. Now to finish this up for the day, I want to add a farm here. Probably 2 or 3. I imagine we'd have a bunch of small farms. So we'll start by running our connection in. I'm going to start with a dirt road. If I don't like it, I'll swap to an alleyway. Now, given how long this road is, we need some sort of bridge across. And also, if these are our farms, they're making a large amount of our food. We don't want it to come from this road though. This is like one of our main roads, but we'll send it right about here. And the goal right now is just to improve the connectivity here. If they're making all of our food, then we probably want to make sure they have good access to a road. And now I'm thinking we should probably, well, we don't have to, but it would look really nice if we upgrade this to one of the bridges, particularly the wooden covered bridge. And that does not look very nice. In fact, that looks really bad. This time, let's try again, but we'll raise the bridge about 1.25 or 2 meters. We'll see. So we'll send it straight for about 2 meters. Then we'll increase it and we'll keep on constant slope and elevated. Yeah, let's go 2.5 meters. And then we'll send it across about 3 meters. We'll remove the elevation, send it into our dirt road. Okay, and now we should be able to upgrade this and it should look fairly decent. Of course, we have our pillars sticking in the ground. So let's make sure these nodes are broken and we'll upgrade these to a key wall. And I don't have, oh, I can't do it. So we'll use Anarchy to upgrade it to a key wall. And now let's delete these. And if I can, I'd like to get the key wall just a bit closer to the water without it looking really bad. Okay, and I can live with that, I think. Now let's grab our bridge and then we'll upgrade this road. And that's a very, very tiny bridge, but it doesn't look bad. It definitely can work. Much better than our first try. You know what? Even though it's super small and kind of looks a bit odd, I kind of like it. It gives a different charm, I guess. Now let's add one more bridge, and I'm seeing something that I really don't like. I want the water to go through here, and for some reason it's not. I'm sorry for not respecting the topography, but I'm going to fix this up just a tiny bit. For our second bridge, we'll come in about halfway between this road and everything else. And this time we're not gonna do anything fancy. We're just gonna send this right up. And then we'll just convert these smaller sections to a key wall. And interestingly enough, that makes it a dirt road. That's honestly kind of weird. So we'll swap the dirt road to a alleyway. All right, now let's place in some farms. I probably should have checked first, but I have no idea what the natural resources actually looks like. I'm hoping there's some in this little section. Otherwise, we'll just go with livestock farming because it doesn't require any resources. And thankfully, we do have some fertile land here. That's really great. Now I want this to feel, I don't know, like the farms aren't on this road, because this would be a really important road for connectivity, especially for all the farm trucks that would be leaving. But we're going to place it just slightly off to the side and try to maximize the space that we can use. If it's a wheat farm, it's probably not operating on much steep terrain. But if it's something like livestock, steep terrain doesn't matter as much. You're obviously not going to place a livestock farm on a massive hill. But if there's a few bits and pieces of elevation, then it's not a big deal. Now for a road, I want to send it directly into the property. I think that gives just a different feel than having roads just connected all over the place. Plus it'll maximize our space for farming. And I'm struggling with this road right here. I think that's because the farm is just in a bad place. I could move it, but usually when you move farms, they break. So we'll place it down again, and this time we'll leave a bit more space on the side of it. But we also want to make sure it's actually within our resources, and it is. Just a little bit more space on the side. There we go. Because then I can run the actual farm down throughout the road. All right, now let's extend all of our farm surfaces. I'm going to try and maximize the space, but also keep it somewhat logical. If you got any feedback on this, please leave a comment. It'd help a lot. I'm not a farmer. All right, now let's do a tiny bit of detailing. For the wheat farms, typically I like to make them kind of a sand surface, give it a bit of yellow. I don't have access to the usual textures that I would use. Otherwise, I would place another texture on top to try and help break up the yellow colors of these. Fortunately, we can't delete the surface even if we wanted to, but there is surfaces that stack directly over top of them. I'm wondering, how would this look? Okay, that looks pretty bad. But what if we add on a darker black color, and that looks actually somewhat better, but still really bad. It just looks kind of bland and like all one big pile of mush. But I do like that. So we'll probably have two farms with varying levels of blackness. And then we'll have, I don't know, I'm looking at the other farm right now, and I think it needs to just be swapped to livestock. Then we can just put grass on top of it. You know what? Before I judge a book by its cover, let's just stretch out the surface. My main gripe with it was that, would a wheat farm really have this odd of a shape? I honestly don't know. Most of the farms that I've seen are usually rectangles, or they take up a big plot of land. I'm just wondering, how effective would this plot of land be to grow wheat? And if that's the case, wouldn't it just be better to use livestock or almost literally anything else? Yeah, I don't like that. I do not like that at all. Let's apply a slightly darker black over this one. So we'll just add this in twice. That way there's a bit of variance. And then we'll just stretch the surfaces back out. Yeah, no matter how I position this one, it just really bugs me. So let's delete it and replace it with livestock. Oh, I'm a fool. I forgot you can't delete the surface. I made farms on a previous video. If you didn't see it, basically I used a grass texture to put right over it. And for some reason that made me think that I could delete it. And I can't, which means we're going to have to go with one of the vanilla grass surfaces. And I just think it's going to come out not the way I wanted it to. I'm going to try and drop a bit of perfection here and just move forward instead of getting stuck on it. I'm still trying to delete it though. I'm like, maybe there's a way, but there isn't. And we will just use one of these surfaces. We need one that stacks on top of it rather than under it. I was thinking maybe we could use dirt, but even then we don't even really have a good dirt surface. So my problem with this one is it's just too bright. So maybe we can place a little bit of black over it. And you know what? It's not perfect. It's not the same as our old one, but I think it does the trick. I think it looks decent. And I think once we get some animals in here, it'll look a lot nicer. So let's just finish stretching the surface out. And yeah, it's not too bad. It's not too bad at all. I can live with that. I wish we could have just a little bit of like stains or dirt or something like that, but you know what? I'm over it. It's perfect. Now finally, let's just add some trees all around here. I believe we're using oak trees, it looks like. So that's one I'm going to continue placing. Alright, not too bad. It'll look a lot nicer once we have some of those homes in the front, because I figure we need some type of development to support this farm. And really, in an area like this, when you're so limited and constrained on space, you're probably going to develop wherever you can. And right here, we're going to develop too. And that is a wrap. Next episode is when we're going to do all of our zoning and give this a very specific feel. Either way, if you enjoyed this video, a like, comment, and subscription if you aren't already would mean a lot and go a long way in supporting the channel. I'll see you in the next one.